So, very welcome everyone to Nordregio and Stockholm and today's webinar From Vision to Action, Agenda 2030 in Rural Municipalities. So today we'll discuss the benefits, challenges, and also methods to involve people and create more resilient communities in our vast rural areas in the Nordic countries. We are very happy to have many sign-ups today, so we'll see how many join us live. But nevertheless, we will record the session so you can also watch it afterwards. My name is Åsa Ström Hildestrand, and I'm project manager and will be your moderator today, together with my colleague Anna Berlina, who will also host the Zoom chat and the polls that we'll have. This event is part of Nordregio's work to support Agenda 2030 at the local level, which we have done quite a few years now and had a series of webinars. So some of you might have watched our previous webinars as well. And all of this is funded by the Nordic Council of Ministers. Today's program will start with presentations and learnings by our partners, Distriktssenteret, Center for Rural Development in Norway, and Hela Sverige ska leva Gävleborg, Sweden's largest civil society organization for rural development. And of course, we'll also hear from frontrunner municipalities from Norway, Sweden, and Finland. And after that, we will also run parallel sessions where we'll have group discussions with you. Again, very, very welcome to the program. Now over to Anna Berlina, my colleague, to set the scene and ask the first poll questions. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Åsa. So as making maps is one of the specializations at Nordregio, I would like to share this map with you, where you can see the locations of the 3 municipalities that you will hear more about during the webinar today. We will hear more about municipality in Finland, Söderhamn in Sweden, and Tingvoll in Norway. And by the way, according to the urban-rural typology, 69% of all municipalities in the Nordic countries are categorized as rural, and they are marked in green in the map. And these municipalities will be our focus today. These municipalities may not be large in terms of population, but they definitely cover large areas. Now let's go over to our first poll. You will see 2 questions on the screen, on the pop-up screen, where you can choose answer one after another. The first question is where you come from. And I can see that already some of you started to answer the first question. And the second question is about work with the Agenda 2030 in municipality or organization. Do you work with Agenda 2030? And we wait a few more seconds. I can see that you're actively participating. More and more questions are coming, answers are coming. I think now I will share the results. So we can see that there's quite a large broad coverage of Nordic countries here the webinar today. Thank you all for being with us. I hope it will be interesting for all of you. And regarding the second question on the work with Agenda 2030, you can see that more than 50% have answered that they have implemented specific initiatives to help advance SDGs in their municipality, and over 16% have been actively working with the SDGs. And I hope this webinar will be providing good inspiration for both those of you who have advanced and those in the starting phase. And now over to you, Åsa, again.
Yes, thank you. Thank you everyone for being so quick on the buttons there and respond to the polls. It's so good to hear from you, and good to hear that many of you are already working with the SDGs, perhaps not too surprising since you joined the webinar. We of course want to dig deeper into what you see as benefits and challenges with this as well later on. But first of all, now let's move over to Norway and our first speakers. Welcome, Roar Werner Vangsnes from Distriktssenteret. And you have made a survey report last year about sustainability in rural municipalities in Norway to find out a little bit what's the situation, how many work with the SDGs or sustainability in other ways, what are the main methods and learnings. So Roar, most welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Åsa. Yes, I will try to do my best. My name is Roar Vangsnes, yes, as Åsa said, and I am a senior advisor at the Distriktssenteret, the Center of Competence on Rural Development. Today, I mainly use our short Norwegian name, Distriktssenteret. We are subsidiary to the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development, and we are a national instrument in rural and regional developments. We are 28 employees in 3 offices in Sogndal, where I'm sitting in the western part, in Steinkjer in Trøndelag, and Alstahaug in Nordland. We work all over Norway, focusing on the most rural municipalities together with the county councils and the county governor. The next slide, please. Anna, are you? Yes, there we are. You can see Distriktssenteret, a happy, competent family in rural development. So then the next slide. This autumn, it is municipal council and county council election in Norway. This means that we are a lot of discussion locally about future development for local communities. And sustainability is a central theme in these discussions. Many administrations in municipalities is preparing the knowledge base that the newly elected politicians can use when they are starting up their election period. Sustainable development has for a long time been a premise for municipal planning, management, and development. But still, there are many municipalities striving to find out how they can work with sustainability and the sustainability goals. This can be challenging when the rural context is characterized by urbanization and changes in traditional land use, among other things. There can also be different views on what is sustainable and what can lead us to more sustainable direction. Next slide, please. This report was published last year, Sustainability in Rural Municipalities. How inhabitants in rural municipalities understand sustainability and how rural municipalities work with their sustainable community development. All the municipalities have been given a task to use sustainability goals as a basis for their work. But what does it really mean for the municipality to work with sustainability? And what does it mean for the citizen? How do they understand the term sustainability? Next slide, please. We therefore gathered a sample of people and actors in 8 rural municipalities. Lebesby in north, Vega is here today, Vang, Vicky is also here today, and 1 regional park in the west coast, Fjordkysten, which consists of 4 municipalities, Hyllestad, Askvoll, Fjaler, and Solund, to gain insight into the situation. All of them has less than 3,000 inhabitants. We took a bottom-up perspective. We didn't necessarily expect to find something new, since we have been aiming for sustainable development for decades. Next slide, please. This is from a focus group interview with Fjordkysten. The report is based on many voices. Five focus group interviews in the municipalities with a total approximately 60 participants. In the focus group interview, there has been a broad composition amongst the participants with a mixture of people from business companies, farmers, landowners, administrative employees in the municipality, politicians, mayors, municipal director, youth council, and NGOs. There were also separate interviews with the county councils with 4 participants. And also, in collaboration with the municipalities, we had made a citizen survey with all 8 municipalities. A total of 1,558 responded to the entire survey, and 1,012 people have responded to part of it. Next slide, please. We have many quotes from the participants. Most people have some thoughts about sustainability, and in the survey, many wrote their understanding of the concept. Here is one of them. Sustainability is about the long-term and viable local communities. I'm proud of long traditions. Our overall objectives has always been based on the sustainable development of nature and cultural heritage. It is not a new mindset. Another quote is, sustainability is a broad term, and we are bombarded with various things under the banner of sustainability. Amongst other things, it is about being in balance with the society around us, in the country and in the world. We must figure out how to find our place in the world. There are big questions, and the answer are not always given. Next slide, please. Here is some of the main findings in the report. There are some uncertainties about how to work with sustainability. There are several dilemmas and conflicts of interest, demand and top to and down to earth and practical approach. It's necessary with a long-term and holistic thinking, and people wish to gather around the same table and discuss. Next page, please. How conflicts of interest are handled is important. The focus group interviews shows that people want to reflect on sustainability together. To develop a common understanding and knowledge about sustainability is a continuous process that needs to be emphasized more. Not everyone feels that they can speak their mind about sustainable development. For example, some people experience that it's not so easy to raise questions about, for example, second homes development or fish farming, where they can contribute to workplaces and income. So there is a need to discuss power relations and who gets to participate in the discussions about future development for the municipality. We can quote answer like, there aren't that many channels to say your meaning if you're not a political active or write on Facebook or in the newspaper. And a good quote was, think through how disagreement is met, as disagreement is as important as agreement. Next page, please. Many are searching for answers to how to take sustainability into their mind. We think that this is important finding. Many people want to participate and contribute if they see that it's useful and means something in a larger context. It is therefore important to involve people in the work. For people to be able to contribute, they must be invited in. The municipality planning process is a good opportunity. 65% of those who answer the survey says that they want to make an effort if they get involved and heard in their local community. This shows how important it is to speak to the citizen. Next slide, please. Municipality contribute to sustainability work in many ways, through their services, welfare services, planning and local community development work. At the same time, there is a lack of common understanding of what sustainable development means in the local and regional context. There is a need for share knowledge and to how local discussions about the content in local sustainability work. There is a need for discussions amongst inhabitants and politicians, and that they make strategies and plans for the future. Next slide, please. Planning is a tool for sustainable development. That planning is going to contribute to sustainable development is already written in the Planning and Building Act. But the sustainability goals is a completely new way to concrete the content of the term through goals, sub-goals, and indicators. In the national expectations regarding regional and municipal planning in Norway from 2019, it is expected that the sustainability goals shall provide the main direction to address the challenges of our time. The sustainable development goals should be incorporated as the basis of the social and land use planning. But many rural municipalities have challenges when it comes to planning. Many lack capacity, and it's a few people to work with planning in the local community development. Access to planning expertise is a challenge. The politicians has many places also lack competence on planning. Even if it's an elected representative that owns the plan, they don't necessarily have the competence that it's needed. There is a need to review the interaction between regional authorities and others, like Distriktssenteret, the municipalities. How can we best support the municipalities? As I said in the beginning, this year it is municipal council and county council election in Norway. Many municipalities work to develop a shared knowledge base that can be used to identify a common direction for development. The county and the municipal authorities are responsible for ensuring that plans and decisions build in good, up-to-date knowledge, and that they have a necessary expertise in planning. Next slide, please. The municipality and local communities should mobilize a variety of actors to create a dialogue about values, choices, and priorities that should be formed the basis from the sustainable social development. As one of the representatives from the county council said, participation is important when we are going to work with sustainability. Get the citizen who live in municipalities on board. I believe that the power to change lies with the citizen. In the same way as with other local development work, there is a need for good cooperation between the municipality and the wider community in the municipality. Next, please. At our website, we present several guidelines, working methods, and tools that municipalities and others can use in their development work, and which are also equally relevant in work with sustainable community development. There you find a description of how you can carry out workshop, digital citizen and business survey, and process planning. The focus group interview that we conducted in our work on the report were also a good method for meeting and reflecting on sustainable development together. Everything who is on this website is tested out in some of the municipality. The focus group interview is on the way into this website. And in some of the municipalities, the county council and the county governor has contributed in the practical work. Next, please. We are really happy to be a part of the webinar together with Norregio og Hela Sverige and the municipalities from the three Nordic countries. Distriktssenteret are no expert on sustainability goals, but we believe that much of our knowledge and working methods and tools is relevant in working with sustainability. We have a lot to learn, so to meet and share experiences is valuable. We have brought with us some from Norway in the local example, and Åsa, you will present the next keynote speaker. So thank you very much for listening.
All right, maybe I'm still muted. Thank you so much for that introduction. And for all of you, we'll share now the website address to Distriktssenteret here in the chat, so you can all find it. And of course, a very relevant reason for doing this together is that you are definitely such a long time running competence center for rural development in Norway. And as you said, sustainable development is nothing new for most municipalities in the Nordic countries. It's a matter of definitions, but also now to really localize these global goals and see what can you do at the local level and how to collaborate to make it happen. I think you also touched upon some interesting things here with these goal conflicts between job creation, nature preservation, resources, etc. And I think we'll come back to this also in your group discussion later on. You also mentioned how the region can do more to support municipalities, and we know that that we have one of your fylkeskommuner with us in the group discussion again as well later on. But now let's move over to Tingvoll kommune in Norway, also a little bit further up along the coast. And you saw it on the map before, hopefully. And with us now is Odd Arild Bugge, and you are the municipal director of Tingvoll. So please give us an introduction so we understand the setting of Tingvoll and your work with sustainability in collaboration with your neighboring municipalities.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation. I will take you to a story from Tingvoll.
Yes.
And hopefully we coming out fine like this.
Yes. Let's see if you share your screen.
Thank you. Tingvoll is situated on the west coast of Norway. I put a blue dot on the map.
Sorry, we cannot see your presentation now. Are you sharing yourself or?
Try to share again.
This is the exciting part of Zoom meetings. Yes, Tingvoll.
It's
very
okay?
well. And we can see the blue dot as well.
Okay, very good.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, Tingvoll, in the late 80s, Tingvoll got interested in some movements from northern Finland and Sweden, and in 1990 the Tingvoll Municipal Council signed the Eco-Municipality Declaration, and it's 7 elements of the declaration, and the Municipal Council has repeated their decision to join and respect the declaration every 4 years since then. And this is important for us because this was not mainstream or very popular in the 90s, and it didn't change really until a few years ago. I will come back to this. But we have tried a lot of declarations throughout the years, and only this one has been persistent and is still alive for us until this day. So shortly, ecological goals in municipal planning. Every case processing should the environmental consequences be assessed. We shall mobilize local knowledge and natural resources to create sustainable development. We shall protect and use local natural and cultural resources, give local contributions to solutions of global environmental problems, solving local environmental challenges, and maybe the main point I think seen from now is the strong emphasis on local governance and initiatives. So this is a bottom-up rural approach to maybe the Brunton report over common world in 1987. It initiated a lot of activities from the late 80s and until now. Just some points: composting organic household waste. We tried it before it was even legal in the Norwegian regulations. We produced local bins for composting household waste. We had a kind of massive education program for local politicians from the early 90s. The kitchen in the local hospital has this silver medal for using organic food. We had international experiences, cooperated with a municipality in Tanzania, and we had some youth exchange programs with Morocco. We worked early on energy saving and trying to heat our municipal buildings with other things than electricity. Started the biogas production plant. A lot of our local industry is trying to use local resources and local competencies to produce cheese, wool, and so on. And some social aspects of this has also been important for us. So I see 3 years ago, 2020, there was a major shift here in our county, and the regional government started something called the Sustainable Møre og Romsdal County. And then suddenly we got mainstream and popular in our eco municipality works. So I'll mention 4 actions we started since 2020, just as in inspiration to the forthcoming breakout rooms. Eco Lighthouse certification. We had this key performance indicators in the EU4SSE system. We have established a local eco park for research and education, and this regional partnership for societal planning, as was mentioned. This Eco Lighthouse certification is a Norwegian system. I think now it's internationally approved as a good as certification as ISO 14000 and likewise. Measure energy waste, healthy working environment, CO2 procurement, transport, and so on, and reporting, and every year doing improvement work. I mentioned this Sustainable Møre og Romsdal County. Started a program with all the municipalities in our county, trying to get some grip on what does these sustainable goals mean, and how to implement them, and how to measure how they do, and so on. So this program started training us, gave us some staff in to collaborate with. Had some webinars and meetings. This was under the just at the start of the pandemic. And in the end of this, or maybe early in this work, we started this kind of big program on mapping the environmental status in the municipalities, measuring the key performance indicators from the EU4SSE system, United for Smart and Sustainable Cities, UN program. It was a massive work. Hundreds of indicators should be found in every municipality and reported and double-checked and approved by consulants. And in the end, we ended well. It took near a year more than first anticipated. And we got a quite interesting picture of what does the sustainability in our county look if you see it from outside. Here is, you shall not read this, I just show it to make a point. In the left column, it's the key performance indicators listed, and the columns is every municipality. and you get points according to the scale if you are sustainable or not. The results was quite interesting and quite we had some surprises. As suspected, most of it is green and okay in our beautiful rural part of the country, but we could, if you measure this on this international standards, we had trouble with the smart water management. Surprisingly, big rate of poverty. Weak on circular economy, slow on digitalization of the public sector. A few buildings have environmental certifications, and we could be also better on local food and food security. So this was elements we started working on in together, all the municipalities in the county. On Tingvoll, we have this in this beautiful environment. We have this research center called it's called the Tingvoll Økopark. It's 3 different institutions there. Norsøk is local and doing research on ecological farming, organic farming. Nibio is a national big research institute, has a department on Tingvoll on agriculture, area, biological diversity and so on. And Miljøfaglig Utredning, also a firm working on biological diversity and consequences in big building projects. Lately, we have established Tingvoll Økopark as a scene for activities, meetings, education, and Seban is our newest baby. Giving courses and helping municipalities and businesses to learn more about sustainable use of area, nature, resources, and so on. So it's quite a few people here in this little town of Tingvoll. Over in the north part of our county, there's this 8 municipalities has a special bond, special system, or run by the mayors, the 8 mayors you see on the picture. They meet every second month, I think, and as always discussing common challenges and finding results. And the time is running out, I see, so I have to speed up a bit. The big point here is we could use common resources to make things a little easier for small municipalities to get a good standard on the grounds for new planning, new initiatives. So we don't have to hire one specialist each. Here's the in Norwegian, sorry, but this is the system for over planning, the Municipal Societal Plan, Kommuneplan, and then you have to have this red thread holding the long goals together with the results in the reporting at the end. And our last initiative is I'm talking too much. Trying to find relevant automatable key performance indicators from the work we do in sustainable projects to ensure that the effects from the implemented actions really are sustainable. So far we have a lot of goals and a lot of actions, and we are not so sure they really deliver what we think. So that's our next step in our work. So that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really good to hear more from the very local level. And in your group discussion, as we mentioned, we'll also have Ingeborg Ellen Forseth with us from Møre Romsdal fylkeskommune. So the regional level will be there, and you can explain a little further how you collaborate in practice. I was just curious, are there any more regions in Norway that has developed a similar model for collaboration? Are you aware of that?
I don't think so. The way we do it, there's a lot of collaborations in different ways, but I think the way we do it strictly to the Municipal Societal Plan is a bit special among rural and relatively small municipalities.
Super interesting, and we'll hear a little bit more later on, as we said. Okay, over to you then, Anna, for the third Zoom poll. And thank you again to Tingvoll and Odd Arild for being with us.
Yes, welcome back to the poll. We have one more poll question. Just a second. Yes, right now we have we get only one question, and you can choose multiple options here. We have 4 different answers, and about the benefits. What benefits do you see in working with Agenda 2030 in rural municipalities? So we'll wait a few more seconds. You can see you're actively responding.
Yes.
Yes, I think right now share. You can see the responses already. Yeah. We'll share the results. So the majority of you see working with Agenda 2030 benefits of ensuring commitment and engagement of local actors and residents, and then improving quality of life and well-being seems to be very relevant as well, and supporting social inclusion too. But if you mentioned other, if you chose other as an option, it'd be great if you use the chat function, that you could add some other benefits that you see for yourself and your municipalities, share with us in the chat. And also it would be great if you have any more ideas and would like to share knowledge on methods, tools, or how to work with Agenda 2030 at the local level. Please also use the chat function so we could have some more examples from all of you, also the participants. And finally, I would also like to say that if you have any specific questions to the speakers that haven't been answered right now directly, you could also ask these questions to them in the chat, and they will try to come back to you during the webinar in written form.
Yes, that's great. And we will also be able to, of course, you can ask more questions during the group discussion. But now from Norway, let's come back to Sweden and just a little bit north of Stockholm to the region of Gävleborg. And there we have Hela Sverige ska leva Gävleborg, and represented today by Mats Leivig. And also Vicky Alvin Lehmann, and your rural developer and project manager at Söderhamn Municipality. And you have a collaboration going here between the civil society organization of Hela Sverige ska leva and the municipality. So let us know more about your tool to integrate the sustainable development goals in the very local development plans at the village level. Varsågoda.
Yeah, thank you. I think we are sharing the wrong picture here. We are in Norway still.
Sorry.
Söderhamn is about 250 kilometers north of Stockholm, so that's where we should be ending up. I'm Mats Leivig, and we'll share this presentation together with Vicky, and I will start out and explain the really local part, which is below the municipality level even. I'm going down to the villages.
Exactly. And hopefully here now everyone can see the slides, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will request remote control here and
Yes.
take over the running of this.
Okay.
I'm trying to get back to the slideshow. No, it seems okay from my side. Is it okay with you?
Yeah, looks good.
Good.
And you.
So I'm representing Hela Sverige ska leva Exing in Gävleborg, and that is a part of the Hela Sverige ska leva organization, which is national. It's called Rural Sweden in English, and it's a organization which is built up by about 5,000 members in the rural areas, which are normally community groups in the villages. There might be sports clubs, there might be different organizations that want to do something good for where they live out in the rural areas. And Exing Gävleborg is then the regional organization for rural Sweden in general. So what I'm going to talk about is the SDGs and the relation to village work. And to put it on the map, I am at the bottom of this hierarchy, down in the local village area and their needs. And I want to share this picture because most governmental people or municipality people are looking at it from top down, and that's where the goals are defined, and it travels down to the Sweden, the goals of Sweden, the national goals, and then it goes to regional goals, and it ends up at the municipality labs, where they have to do something about it. I used to say that these other guys are higher up here, they don't do not much, but of course they are. But when it comes to municipality level, they cannot push it further down, but only to people. And the people, that's where I'm work with the people in the villages and the local village areas. Different between a local village area and a village is that it may be several small villages together, but it is still very local. So when we in this work then work together with Söderhamns municipality, it is the two arrows going up and down here in between, where we get perhaps demands from the municipality, and we from the local village areas are requesting support perhaps from the municipalities. This is a generic picture, and this is a bit how we want to work more and more. We have started in Gävleborg in two places so far. It is here in Söderhamn, and we have had talks also in Vangsnes municipality. But to come to what we are doing in the villages, this is the map. It is called the FMP method, and that comes, it's a long story why it's called that, but let's skip that for this meeting. But this is reaching out to the villages. We are down at the bottom of level 0, and seeing if there is an interest to do something in the villages to improve the situation in some for some reasons. And normally people have wishes to have a better life in the rural areas. So they get together, and we start with a local development plan work there. And that is currently a project run by Hela Sverige ska leva in Gävleborg. But we are also developing this so that we can hand it over to anyone who wants to run this kind of work. That will be done towards the end of this year sometimes. So what they do there is they get together and they write about their local history and current situation. What are their strengths? What are the organizations working there? Sports clubs. There are the different fishing organizations and so on. Then we request a statistics from the Svenska centralbyrån, Statistiska centralbyrån, and they get then facts about this village area, and we get that together. That's about the age of people, the income in the village, and the spendings in the local shops, if there is a local shop. And what we've added then is also a module with the SDGs, Agenda 2030, to create a knowledge for the people. As I pointed out, in this circled area here, there will be a language where they need to know what does the different words mean when we speak about SDG, the goals and the targets and all this, which is a totally different language to normal people's. So that's one part of it. And when this has been brought together, we come up to level 2, and they start to identify their development areas. What is that they want to have, which is not, or what is lacking, or what is not working so well. It may be public transports. It may be how they want to attract people to come and visit them, opening some cafes, or having people come to, for instance, in the village I'm active, we have a kiln where we produce coal for a week in July, and we get people from quite far away to come to visit that event. So these are kind of things that they think of, that they want to develop. And when this has been put together to a document, hopefully some of them are then set into practice to create projects and do the work to make this difference and make an improvement to the village. And of course, it's only when they have started to do that, where they get the actual benefits from the work, then we are on level 4. But what we have then also realized is that we come to, well, I'll finish the lower levels here first. The basic training in Agenda 2030 is what's a part of this module. And when they have created these plans, we are mapping those development areas or actual activity plans to the SDGs and the targets. And the reason for doing that is quite simple. I'll come back to that. The last year we within the rural Sweden created a booklet to show that the Agenda 2030 and the global goals are not rocket science, but it's mainly common sense. So we collected a lot of local examples of what people had done to fulfill some of the goals and put that into this booklet. And you have a link here so you can download it from Rural Sweden's website. And this is just to download it as a PDF and use it for your own good. It's very easy to understand. And here is then the result, the mapping. When we do that, we are using a tool which Martin Eriksson already in the chat has advocated for. So that's a good connection. So you get it also, and he is looking for people to start looking at the at this and test it. And I've tried it with a few of these village areas. And here is the result from one working party in Utomskogen. And this is a very handy tool. It does not help you with the mapping. So you have to do the mapping yourself, but the result is put together in a very nice way. And here is the also some more readings. Here is the link to the mapping tool, and there is another booklet that we're using in this training as well. So with that, over to you, Vicky.
Yes, thank you very much, Mats. Now I'm gonna try to take control over this remote control here. Yes. Let's see if this is working. There we go. It's working. That's very nice. Yes, hello, everybody. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here today. My name is Vicky Alvin Lehmann, and I am a rural developer at Söderhamns kommun, and also working a lot with project managing different kinds of projects within the municipality. And I just shortly want to show you a little bit of the whereabouts of our municipality of Söderhamn. Like Mats said earlier, we are located about 2.5 hours north of Stockholm. And the total amount of citizens in the municipality is 25,258. And approximately half of those are living in the rural areas. We have a land area of 1,062 square kilometers. So we are not a very big municipality at all. And our collaboration here that Mats has explained about so well, the FMP method. This is something that we find very, very important within the rural work of the municipality. We have been doing this for a couple of years now already, and started to work with these processes, which is called Loop and LEA, already in 2018. So Loop is a short of a local development plan, and LEA, that's short for the economic side, a local economic or a local economy analysis, so to speak. So it's these two directions that the villages are looking into when they do the development work, so to speak. And the results that come out out of this is very important for us in the municipality and the rural development work, because this creates a lot of how to say, you get the people in the villages, they get invaluable knowledge about their own area when they are doing this kind of work. because you look into the statistics on the economic side, like Mats explained, you see the economic flow about the money flowing in and out. And you can also see that there is actually a lot of potential that you might not be aware of before you actually do this kind of analysis. And this has been one thing that we have noticed a lot in the rural development groups, that after they have been working with these processes, the ideas started to pop up, and also they got more brave when they wanted to initiate new initiatives and create new things for their own village and their environment. So we have done 6 of these processes so far in different parts of the rural areas, and 3 of these 6 has been done in collaboration with 2 villages that has come together and done the work together. And this was not very easy in the beginning, because all the villages are they have a very strong integrity, but we managed to sort of to make them see the bigger picture of it and the benefits of actually working together within this process and using the FMP method. And this has been very, very fruitful, especially when it comes to the collaborations in different kinds of things that they have started on. And from the municipality side, the results from this rural work, what we would like is to have an overall coverage for all our rural areas, because the results from this is very, very useful for us when it comes to our municipal planning work. And because you see on a very, very basic or very, very raw level how it actually looks like for real when you look at the statistics, and this is important for us. And this also creates a very good platform for working together, because this is in the end what we want to create with it. So what we want to do with it, we want to include the results from this loop and LEA processes in our rural development plan that we are currently working on. And this is and the rural development plan, this is going to be a tool for the municipality in one end to secure the rural development and the sustainable local development for the villages. We want to incorporate the procedures in the plan to enable the rural areas to fulfill their local plans in the end. So what we want to do is that we would like to enable or making it able for the villages to apply for money from the municipality side to actually make results out of their own development plans, so that we can then do results together in a very good way. And we also, of course, want to have these plans up to date, because this is something that we want to continue to work with for a longer term of time. And in the municipality, we have a rural council, and this council is called ALLIS, which is short for Aktiv Levande Landsbygd i Söderhamn. And the plan is that this is going to be a support for the rural development groups to keep their loop and LEAs up to date, and actually be able to develop them even further and continue to work with it. And what we have been able to see that I see the time is running out, but I just want to give you a very, very good example of the fantastic result that can come out of this work. That we did one of these FMP processes in one of our villages, and they were not very, very active to start with. It was actually this process that actually got the village to come together and start to work sort of with the development more and more. And now in the end of this, they have actually started to look into create a solar cell park, which is going to be providing the village with solar energy. And this can be directly transferred to the work with the FMP and the Agenda 2030 that was covered there. So this is one very, very good example of how good things can come out of this.
Super interesting. Thank you so much, Vicky and Mats. And I was also really curious to know if you had other, specific or concrete results coming out already. But one key takeaway here is that you created this rural council then at the municipal level, as I understand it. So you have a continuous dialogue with the village level, and there I assume also a good exchange between the villages. So maybe they come across and exchange ideas and find some similar solutions. And green energy is of course a key challenge in lots of municipalities. So that sounds like a really great result already. I don't know if you wanted to comment if you had any other specific, things that for others who want to try this, how to get started, but maybe look at your tools, and you shared the links in the chat here as well now. So work with the tool, and as you said, Mats, make sure that these sustainable development goals are common sense and not rocket science. I don't know, for Söderhamn in general, how is the rural development then integrated into the overall development of the municipality? Do you also have a special focus on that to connect the rural areas with the main, with the more urban areas, for example?
Exactly. Yes, we do. That is, we try to create the bridge between, because one can't be without the other, so to speak. It's very important. Yeah, so we work with this a lot, and also that is one of my parts in my role.
Thank you so much. And for anyone who wants to know more about the different tools and processes that you're using here, the group discussion will of course be a place to learn more, and that will come up in about 20 minutes. And then we actually also have a few other municipalities from your region joining. Ljusdal is one of them. But now over to Anna before we take the next speaker. Anna, what's happening with the Zoom polls? You have another one coming up.
Yes, it's time to hear from you again. We have a final last poll question for today. It's about the main challenges. What are the main challenges involved in implementing Agenda 2030 in your opinion? And here you can also choose multiple answers to answer this question.
Yeah, is it budget and resources, or is it the political support, or ensuring engagement from other local stakeholders? Or do you have a problem with other agendas, for example, the climate agenda, stealing focus from the broader SDG agenda, or something else?
Yes, I think quite equal distribution of answers, but still, the first question about budget seems to be, many of you answered the budget and resource constraints has been among the main challenges, followed by the lack of political support for continuity, and then it's difficult. Also, it could be difficult to ensure engagement from other local stakeholders, companies, and other actors, it seems like many of these constraints are also relevant in your case. And if this good discussion, we could continue the discussion also in the group discussion. So please, if you have any other ideas in your head, you could continue later on.
Exactly. All right. And now back to the lineup of speakers that we have, and let's travel across the Baltic Sea and first check in with researcher Frans Cederlöv, who is located in Espoo, actually just outside of Helsinki. And you happen to be working on a study right now about smaller municipalities in Finland and how they work with the SDGs. So we thought we invite you to hear a bit about your work before we take a closer look at one of your examples from municipality on the northern coast of Finland. So Frans, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity as well. Well, good day, everyone. My name is Frans Cederlöv from the city of Espoo, as we see here in my background. And I'm a master's thesis researcher, passionate about sustainable development and particularly about its application at a local and rural level. In my recent work, I explored the role of sustainable development goals and especially voluntary local reviews in municipal strategy development and promotion of municipal vitality. Strategy creation for municipalities often pose a challenge, and that is the need for a robust present-day analysis that can be quite burdensome for rural municipalities. But here's a thought. What if we could utilize the UN given voluntary local reviews as a ready-made framework for these strategies, or at least the present-day analysis? They give us a structured way of considering the factors that impact a community, and more importantly, they can integrate the vital perspective of sustainability, a perspective we often limit to just the environment. Well, this is where SDGs come into the picture. Currently, they are, I would say, an underutilized resource at municipal level, especially on a strategic level. However, they can work as a powerful set of indicators for strategy development. The SDGs provide a broader framework for sustainability, encompassing economic, social, and environmental dimensions, as you know. But by integrating the SDGs into our strategy processes, when working on strategies, we are pushed to considering sustainability in its fullest sense, and to ensure our communities are not just surviving, but thriving. Well, in addition, voluntary local reviews as a part of strategy work forces, as we saw in the poll right now, one of the main reasons for the hiccups with why SDGs are not taken into account is the political will. Well, voluntary local reviews make officials and politicians from municipalities to think about actually what the SDGs mean and what they could mean for the municipality. And this can work to unlock new avenues for achieving vitality in rural municipalities. And it's important to remember that vitality does not only come from economic feasibility, but from the buzz of the people living there. Well, now let's pause for a moment to consider the transformative potential of municipalities in achieving the SDGs. Municipalities are the laboratories of our societies. They are where the majority of the actions needed to meet the SDGs are implemented. This means municipalities wield significant power to impact the sustainability of our communities and our world. Yet SDGs remain a large untapped resource as strategic municipal leadership. But imagine if we bridge this gap, increase collaboration between different sectors, enhance transparency and accountability, and create a more inclusive society, and the list goes on. Well, furthermore, integrating SDGs into municipal strategies doesn't just contribute to achieving global goals. It also makes good sense locally. It drives social cohesion, economic resilience, and environmental stewardship right where it matters the most. So here's my challenge to all of you today. Let's shift our perception of SDGs from a global set of goals to a local set of goals, actionable goals, strategic goals. Let's employ them as the foundation for the roadmaps for our municipalities, as the basis for strategies, and leverage the new voluntary local review tool as we have to systematically address the challenges our communities face. And if we want a sustainable world, it starts from sustainable communities, and sustainable communities start from us, especially us in positions of power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frans, and thank you for that challenge as well. And I don't know how many of you use or are familiar with VLRs, voluntary local reviews. Happy to hear in the chat if you want to share, if you've made one just locally, just for you. We know officially it's mainly the bigger cities in the Nordic countries that have produced VLRs so far as part of the reporting to the UN system. But as you're saying, Frans, you're on a mission now in Finland to take this forward and make it a useful tool for all kinds of, all sizes of municipalities. And again, it's also a way to keep up the political engagement, to showcase and monitor results, and also keep track of the remaining challenges, so to speak. But one municipality that has remained at the top of Finland's frontrunners on climate action, climate neutrality, and to be a very sustainable society is the small municipality of I up north along the coast. So that's why we invited Marjukka Manninen today, because you're the mayor of I, and maybe you could say something initially about also how you've managed to keep up the political commitment in I and the main results, because you've seen lots of benefits of doing this. So very welcome, Marjukka.
Thank you, and I'm going to try to do that and tell a little bit about which kind of things we have done in E, and also some examples. And afterwards, there's going to be a discussion, and there is going to be partly me, but there is going to be for sure Noora Huotari, who is our development people in our in kind of our development business systems, and she's going to continue after me. But if you could move my, okay, there's going to be our
presentation is coming up here.
Yeah. Okay. So I have been working as a mayor in E a little bit more than 1 year. And so a lot of things has happened before I came, but because I'm kind of from the neighborhood, so I've been following the things which people have done before I came to E. And we have done a lot of things, and we still do. And the one main point is kind of that you have to be brave, to be forerunner, but also you have to keep going all the time. And I think that the biggest steps has been stepped already in E, but still we have to go. And the second steps are maybe a little bit harder, even though they are smaller. But you can put the next one. So E is one of the oldest municipalities, and somebody already said that we locate kind of in the northern Finland. Just next to Oulu. and quite near to the border of Sweden. So it's like 100 and maybe 50 kilometers from the border. And we have about 10,000 people living in E. So we are kind of middle-sized municipality in Finland. And we are part of all region, and there's totally like a 250,000 people living in here. So we just try to get the whole. We are kind of municipality of the rivers, ridges, and bridges, and we have totally like 500 people working in our municipality. So this situation, because of the war and because of the COVID and everything, our logistic position is more and more important, because the main highway and also the railway goes through our municipality. So it's kind of safety issue and also kind of economic issue, and we are kind of a gatekeeper to the northern Finland. And like I said, that we are one of the oldest, and we are going to be have a big celebration next year, and we are going to be like 650 years old then. Next one, please. We just made our new strategy last spring, and we have like 4 main things over there. The first one is the strong and sustainable growth, and second one is close to the nature, and then third one, mental well-being, and the fourth one is kind of systemic change. And then they are really important, I think, that all of them. And this year we kind of focused to the first one at mostly. Next one, please. So like I said, that we've done a lot of things, and there in that slide is some of milestones. So first we started with the politicians and kind of made a political commitment as a start for that process. And it was like 2011, so quite a long time ago. And also we are one of the first municipalities in Hinku forum, which is nowadays Finland like more and more popular. And then we kind of made that research wisdom program. I'm going to tell a little bit more a bit later. And then so we are member of the Hinku forum, but also member of the FISU forum. And then we made a kind of a target to how to reduce our carbon emission as 80%, and we thought that it's going to be in the year 2030, but we were a little bit forerunner, so we get that goal already in the year 2020. So I think that it's a big thing, and it has made a lot for us. Also, we have get some prizes, which is nice because of the big work which we have done. So our priorities for the year 2030 is the wage management, material resource, and then how to share some of the things like cars. We have the electric cars, and we use it there, like the people who work for the municipality use it, but also they are in a way kind of that our people in our municipality can use them. So they are the future things, I think so. And the big thing, like because we've done a lot with their energy, but nowadays we have to do more and more with the traffic. Next one. Could you move the next one? Please, next one. So the previous one and previous.
Oops.
So The one big thing is that we product like 10 times more electricity in our municipality than we use. And it's a big thing, and for sure it's a big thing because the main thing is the water power, and the second biggest is wind power. We are one of the biggest wind power producers in Finland, and also more and more solar power. And then all our buildings, the public buildings, are heated with their material or the thermal, pure and solar energy. And that's I think that the biggest thing which we have made. So we have counted that it's not only like a sustainable thing, but it has to be also some economic system, which is a big with this kind of sustainable topics. And so we have calculated that there is per year 2.5 million euros, which we gain with that work. And also like the biggest is the wind power, but the rent incomes for the landowners is about 1 million euro per year. And we have counted that there is about 80 jobs which we have gained in our area because of the sustainable work. Next one. And then our main goal is a carbon neutral community, but we have to kind of do it in the different ways. I mean, like there's the things which we can work with the energy efficiency, and there's a kind of savings with their property owners, and then less carbon neutral systems, and then emission reduction. And the one big thing is money circulation, and then some investments and some firms in E because of these things which we've done. Next one. And I said already that we have kind of roadmap, and over there we have 5 channels kind of or 5 different ways to do it. The first one is reproduction and reconsumption. The second one is a community structure and traffic, and that's the bigger and bigger all the time. And then less consumption and material circulation, and then fourth is food production and consumption. We use a lot of local food, and also we kind of talk about them and work with them with their in schools and with the kids too. And then because we are kind of municipality with the rivers and with the sea too, so the water things are big for us. Next one. Maybe you can skip even that one, because these are like some results which we've done. But here you can say that when we change the energy systems in our properties, it's not actually very long that payback time for that. And nowadays it's even shorter because of the price of the energy. But there's a good examples. And then next one. This is kind of simple thing to do it, but I think that that's the one of the biggest thing, because the kids in the kindergarten and the kids in schools, they are those people who really make the future. So we try to put in our programs the things with the sustainability and kind of discuss with them in the different ways with the kids, and also like there's some lessons and there are some projects in schools which they work with. But this one, it's kind of nice idea, like the kids, they try to reduce the consumption of their heat and consumption of the electricity and the water. And if they gain some savings, they get the half of it for them. So they can make some trips or get some tools or things like that. And then they are really keen to do that. And it's kind of a simple thing to kind of teach them that which kind of things it's good to do. And when they learn that in schools or the kindergartens, they just bring that all these ideas back home. And I think that you all have a big discussion about that how the young people think, how big pressure they have nowadays because of the climate things. But our kids or the young people, they say that they are not that pressured because our municipality really do something for that. And that's the good kind of note for all of us. Next one, please. And there's some things which we've done, some examples. You can read them a bit later. And then next one. We have which is really good and big thing, that our firms are with us. So they do some kind of choices and things. And they, for example, we have kind of brand that is local from E, and that they are part of that brand, and they can use those things, and they think that they can get some, for example, money when they try to get some money from the bank or from some projects. So it helps them with those kind of things. Next one, please. So there has been a lot of talks and discussion and media interest. It was a bit pity that the COVID came, because there were like a lot of groups which were interested about the things which we have done and were willing to travel to E. But now, because the world is more or less open again, we hope that they are coming again. But there has been some news from our municipality, for example, in BBC News, and so far and so far. Next one, please. So the big things which everyone should take care is that if you do that kind of things, you have to get your citizens with you, and they have to be a part of it. And then you have to do it kind of systematically way. So to pilot, to measure, and then do the good things again, and not do the bad things. And nowadays, even though it's a big thing and the important thing how to produce your energy, but nowadays it's more and more important how to kind of develop the things with that. And also the buildings, especially in the northern countries, and how to heat them is the big thing. Next one, please. So if we think about the future a little bit, so we like to be and are able to be a kind of northern choice in all region, and kind of gateway to north. And also, like I said, that how to use your energy and how to save it, it's a bigger and bigger thing. And also our importance because of the war is more and more important, which is good for us. And we like to be forerunner also in the future, not in the only in the past. And we are a little bit different, like in a good way. And there are some citizens, they really move to our community because we've done so many things with the sustainability, clean nature, water. We have a small school still, and we are kind of safety place to be. And also we have different kind of villages and so on and so on. But if you like to do these kind of things, you have to think like long-term solutions and do their strategic activities. And also you have to be in the good networks, and you have to be active over there.
Thank you so much, Marjukka.
Yeah, thank you. And the
Uh,
next one is, I'd like to say till the end that I think that the attitude is the most important thing.
And you've created a culture of sustainability and climate solutions, it sounds like, in E.
Yeah.
And as you said, you worked over time, a long time with this. And now we're really running out of time here because we want to start the group discussions. But I think just one thing to comment on is also how, even if you started out with a lot of focus on energy and climate neutrality, you've also gained a lot of social sustainability benefits out of it, as you talked about engaging the schools and making youth feel that something is actually happening and that you can make a difference while living in E. But I also think that you had other things there to describe and that you can talk more about in the group discussion as well. For those who want to hear more from Finland, you can do that, how to integrate and how you've also created jobs, of course, and a stronger belief in the future of E. So thanks so much, Marjukka. And now let's engage everyone in the group discussions. So I hope you can now find a button in the Zoom menu and also perhaps a little pop-up box, but otherwise check out the breakout rooms button in the Zoom menu, in the menu bar at the bottom here of the Zoom window. And you can choose Sweden, Norway, or Finland, and just go there and join the group you like to be in. And we'll be back here at 2:55 for a 5-minute roundup and hear some comments from the discussions. So very welcome to join the rooms. And if you have any problem, you can just unmute yourself and ask my colleague Louise for help, and she will direct you to the room that you want to be if there are any problems. All right, let's hope that everyone can find a group discussion room and meet our speakers again, and also make sure to share your own best examples or experiences in this field. Okay, I think that's now a break from us here in the studio, and we'll be back in just 5 minutes before 3. All right, we're back in the main room here again, and just waiting for people to come back from the breakout sessions. At this time of day, we have lost some of our participants, but we just thought we'll wrap up this session. It's almost 3 o'clock, by hearing from a few of you who ran the sessions. So we thought we'd hear from Roar about the Norwegian room, and Nora will tell us a bit about Finland, and then we have Mats, who will share some thoughts from the Swedish room. So who wants to start? Maybe we start with Finland this time. Nora, if you're with us.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
So-
good to see you. And Nora, you're a colleague of Marjukka, for everyone to know that, from E Municipality.
And we were discussing actually that what could do or what has been in our main points. So I would say that have this deciders, politicians, municipality leaders, all to do together this work. So in that way that we can involve in our citizens, businesses, and everybody for this work. And for us, we are very happy to have these good results in our work, because we believe we have been able to create new places to work, job places, last 3 years plus 3.9. So all these figures, I really do love them. And also we want to have a good area for new businesses and already existing businesses, that they do able to have great priced energy nowadays. It's a very key issue. And of course, to help them how the businesses can do their sustainable work, so that in the future they are able to have money for their investments, and cheap money. Because I think in the future, if you haven't done any work with sustainable, you pay it. The interest rates are higher. So we are trying to predict what is in the future and how we can be one step forward to figure out.
So E will also become a hub for sustainable businesses wanting to use or produce green energy. Maybe we could put it that way. And that's super interesting to see how you manage with that as you move along. Great, thank you, Nora. Since time is running, maybe check in with Roar to hear what you discussed in the Norwegian room.
Yes, we tried to. It was time was running very fast.
I know.
We were a very exclusive group, of course, here, and we follow up what Odd Arild had been doing with his talk in his keynote speak, and then we put it into the county government, the county council, because they have been following up all the different municipalities in the county, and they have had some very good reflection questions got into it, and it was interesting also from other parts from the people there from other county councils. So it was a very good interaction that we could use this very short workshop group session to find out how we can meet each other later on. Also so it was not many big discussions, but there were very good reflections coming in. So Marianne tried to keep up going, and the time was running. And I think also that we also have one of the researchers working with this field of goals that is connected to 2 county councils and 7 municipalities in Norway. So I think what we had was to see the integration between what's going on the regional level down to the municipal level, and also further down to show how, and it's very many ways to work with the sustainability goals. And I think we are in a position now that we are actually try to find out different ways, and maybe we can see how we can come more together in Norway also. I think that's a part of it at the moment. So I think it was good connections between a very small but very exclusive group. Thank you.
Good to hear. And I think to emphasize there the role of the regions as well. And we don't quite have time to develop that further in the Finnish case now, but I'm sure that you have some collaboration, Nora, also with the Oulu region as well. And it's that cross-learning and to avoid double work, or make sure that those effective tools are distributed across, and how to use planning as a tool. And I think we'll look more into this also in Finland with the new Climate Act, so that all municipalities are now going to develop climate action plans, and how that can be used as a tool as well. That's another topic that we could look at. Finally, let's go back to Sweden and Mats and see what you discussed in the Swedish room.
Yeah, I will cover this in a few seconds only. So it is, we thought that we are small with 25,000 people in our municipality, until the lady from Iceland came along and said 400 people.
Yeah.
3 people working in the municipality totally. So it is a different ballgame. Anyhow, we talked a little bit about that, tried to give some thoughts and ideas. And then Ljusdal came along and asked how to get in touch with the local villages and people and start the engagement. And Vicky shared her experience from Söderhamn, how it's done there. And that branched out to how to get in touch with young people. And seeing that is one of the big challenges, I think, all over, and with this kind of work. And luckily we had in the room Caroline Bodin from Future Minds, and she shared how they create educational packages for municipalities that they can use to train people in the schools in the SDG work. So that is, I think that she has put some link in the chat now. So that is a good thing to look up for you.
Thank you,
So
Mats.
that is basically what.
Yeah.
No, I'm fine.
But we also heard from, as you said, from Ljusdal, another municipality in your region. So now you're also working to spread your tools and your processes to other municipalities in Gävleborg region, and then also across Sweden, and hopefully now to other places across the Nordic region as well. So I think you are the ones who are worked most strategically with this idea of linking the work at the village level to the municipality and then up to the regional level and so on. So it's super interesting to see how that evolves and what then the results will be at the rural level. And we will come back to this topic for sure. We also had a webinar in May about youth engagement in municipalities and in sustainability work, and that is available on our website, and we'll share this in the chat. As you could see now, my dear colleague Louise posted it there. And with those words, I just wanted to thank you for those of you still remaining in the audience, and of course big thanks to all our speakers for preparing and sharing your knowledge and experiences today. And as you know, this was recorded, and we will share the recording and all the presentations probably tomorrow once everything is ready. And we like to hear from you as well. There will be a final poll that will be emailed also from Zoom that you can fill out if you want to give some feedback to the webinar and the program as a whole. We really appreciate that. I think with that, that was the final words from us here at Norregio today. So again, thank you so much for joining, and have a really lovely summer as well. So happy summer, happy sustainability work, and we will keep in touch for sure. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.